What up, you guys? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm giving a weekly forecast for all of us, for all signs, everybody as a collective. What is the weather like November 17th through November 24th of 2019? Don't forget, I do have horoscopes available for your sign on my website, which is indigomoon.astrology.com. The info is in the info box below. And also 2020 horoscopes for your sign too. 2020 is creeping up on us, you guys. So if you want to know how that year is going to go for you based on your sun sign or rising sign or moon sign, then check out the horoscopes page on my website, which has those available to order as well. I do recommend you look at your rising sign for any horoscopes, but if you don't know it, if you don't know what time you were born to know your rising sign, look at the sun sign and it can still be like super telling as far as like what's going on in your life. All right, so this week there's a lot of shifts and changes. As always, there's always a lot of shifts and changes, you guys, but no, there's like major ones going on this week for real. Okay. Well, I do like to cover the moon phases because the moon is like our mood and our attitudes and stuff, how we're feeling like emotionally and so on. So we do have the moon in Leo. The moon enters Leo on the 17th. Yeah, it's like a little later in the day, but the moon is in Leo starting on the 17th. Moon in Leo, oh my gosh, Leo energy is super creative and fun. So I can tell you that was the whole vibe. Like as soon as the moon shifted into Leo, that was the whole vibe. Having a good time, showing off your skills, your talents or whatever. And also, you know, feeling like you want to be complimented and recognized and all of that good stuff. Leo rules celebrities and artists who like really show off their stuff, like strut their stuff, you know. So we can all be feeling that when the moon's in Leo. We can all be paying attention to our manes a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like your hair. Leo rules the hair, the mane, so, you know, giving it a little bit more attention, seeing what needs to be fixed. Do you need a haircut? Do you need to color? You know, do you need a new wig, honey? Whatever you need. Like when the moon is in Leo, you really pay attention to that stuff a lot more. But it's very romantic, very childlike energy. It's fire energy. It's sassy. The moon, you know, is in signs once a month. So yeah, this is time. Leos will be Leoing extra hard on these days. Okay, so just, you know, pat the little lion's head and give them a little compliment or whatever, so they don't get too sassy and bossy on you. Okay, so there's not really too much popping like the 17th, the 18th, you know, it's just the same aspects from last week. Venus is creeping up on Jupiter. The exact conjunction will be later on this week, which I will cover once we get there since I do go in date order. But yeah, moon and Leo for a couple days. The Mars is actually finishing out his last part of being in Libra. Mars travels through the signs once every 2 years. 2 to 2.5 years Mars is in a certain sign. That's how long it takes to orbit the zodiac. So Mars is in Libra. It's finishing out being in Libra. It's not going to be in Libra for another like 2 years or so. So Libras have been stepping up, you know, standing up for themselves a little bit more than usual. Mars is kind of, I think it's considered to be at its fall and detriment in the sign of Libra because Mars rules Aries, and you know how Aries is very like head on and action oriented and like raw, you know, like in your face. That's how Mars naturally acts. But when it's in diplomatic Libra, it's like, oh, you know, I got to make a decision before I take actions, and I'm going to go back and forth before I make a decision or take an action. And I may have to ask people, what's your opinion on this? What actions do you think I should take? That's Mars in Libra. It doesn't just jump and fly headfirst into shit like it does when it's in Aries. So it's a little different. But Mars in Libra has had people maybe like standing up for things a little bit more that are unfair or unjust, because Libra is a sign of justice. But I'll tell you guys, the 29th degree is called a critical degree because it's the last degree of a sign. Signs are only from 0 to 30 degrees, or, you know, 0 to 29, and then it's not really 30. It's like it goes into 0 of the next sign. So it's at that critical degree of Libra. Mars being at a critical degree in general can bring some critical situations when it comes to Mars ruled things like action, movement, So definitely, this is a week to be very careful, very cautious with your actions and movements. People can be more accident prone this week. That energy is really like building up hardcore this week. So really be careful when you're driving, you're walking, you're riding your scooter. You know what I'm saying? Your patamobiles, okay? Your motorcycles, whatever, however you get around. You need to be very careful, cautious of your actions and your surroundings, because Uranus, it's opposing Uranus already while it's in Libra. And once it switches to Scorpio in a couple days, it's going to be even stronger of a Mars and Uranus opposition. And Uranus brings sudden, unexpected things, crashes, boom, bang, pop, snap, crackle, pop, whatever, like that happens out of the blue. That's all Uranian energy. So Mars opposing that can bring a lot more of that. There's more of a risk, you know, of that happening. So just be careful this week, you guys. I'm telling you, one time I had a heavy Mars and Uranus transit, and I was standing on something that wasn't very sturdy, but I was just trying to reach something high because, you know, I'm a shorty, you know what I'm saying? Like, your girl is mad tiny, like I'm really short. So I have to stand on things sometimes, okay? And climb on counters to reach things. But I was standing on something. It was like a plastic tub, and I thought it had heavy enough items in it to be anchored down. But no, it flipped, and I flipped and went flying through the air and landed butt first on the ground. And I don't know if I don't think I had a real like break, like a tailbone break injury, but it hurt so bad. Like I could barely walk for days. And I bet people were looking at me all sideways, thinking that I was limping and holding my booty for like another reason, like, ooh, what have you been doing, girl? No, but it wasn't like that. It was because I was stupid standing on something, and Mars and Uranus struck me with a horrible fall. So yeah, just be careful this week, you guys, with no matter what it is that you're doing. Any type of movement, you know, is what can cause some like weird sudden stuff to happen. Okay, so yeah, the moon is in Leo, okay, and then it's going to shift into Virgo on the 19th. On the 19th, this is also when Mars goes into the sign of Scorpio. I think it's like early in the morning on the west coast of the USA that Mars goes into Scorpio. I think it's like super early. But yeah, Mars goes into Scorpio. Mars is going to be in Scorpio from November 19th until the beginning of January of 2020. So it's going to be there for like a month and a half in the sign of Scorpio. Mars and Scorpio, you know, I go over this more in the monthly horoscope. The ones that you can order for your sign, but also the general one that's here on my channel. If you go check out the November horoscope, I talk about Mars and Scorpio in a little more detail. But Mars is a co-ruler of the sign of Scorpio. Every sign has a ruling planet. Some of them have two. The reason why some of them have two is because back in the day when before certain planets were discovered, and you know, ancient and astrologers were able to like track the movement and the comparison of as above so below of those planets after they were discovered, you know, there were only certain ones that they were able to see. So Mars was more visible than the more modern day ruler of Scorpio, which is Pluto. Pluto wasn't discovered until like kind of recently as far as in history, but Mars was discovered like centuries ago. So yeah, Mars, it is a planet of passion and drive. Like passion could be hate, but it can also be love. And like Scorpio energy is so fierce and passionate. They love fiercely and they hate just as fiercely too. So that's why Mars is said to be a co-ruler of Scorpio. So it is kind of at home when it's in Scorpio. It can act a little creeperish, you know, I'm not going to lie. Mars being in Scorpio is like kind of creeping up on people and surprising them, you know, or like creeping behind them and like watching them and observing them. And they don't even know that you're there. And then they kind of feel your vibe and they turn around like, oh, I didn't know you were there. Like, have you guys seen the Joker movie, the newest one with Joaquin Phoenix? That was a good movie. It was like a mind-twisting movie. It was very Scorpionic in nature. And I saw that movie, and the Joker was kind of like low-key like stalking this chick that was his neighbor, and she was really pretty, and I guess he had a crush on her. And I'm not gonna give too many spoilers of the excuse me, of the movie for those who haven't seen it, but like it turns out in parts of the movie that she was like, were you following me or watching me? And he was just like, yeah. And she was just like, oh, okay. And they end up like hanging out and going on dates and stuff. And you know, that tickled my little Scorpio heart. I was like, oh, really? Not that I like stalkers or creepers, but I mean, if somebody is like your type and, you know, you actually kind of dig them a little bit and you know that they're kind of watching you, it's, if the feelings are mutual and you have Scorpio energy, especially, it's not really creepy to you. You know, it's just like, oh, they like me. They're interested in me. They're intrigued by me. They're observing me and watching me, and they're curious about me. I'm a mystery to them that they're trying to figure out, you know? So Mars and Scorpio can act like that. In love, especially when you're interested in somebody. If you want to go after somebody, you know, that's kind of the Mars and Scorpio vibe. I'm not encouraging creeping and stalking. Okay, I'm not encouraging that. Don't get me twisted. But I'm just saying that's kind of like the vibe of Mars and Scorpio. It can go south, trust me, to where people really are. They do have malicious intent with like stalking and creeping and just popping up out of your bushes, all googly eyed, like, hey, what's good? I'm here. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, there is stuff like that that can happen. So definitely watch your surroundings, especially once Mars enters Scorpio and is opposing Uranus. That could bring out the weirdos like a mother, you know, like the weirdos will be weirding. They will be weirdoing. They will be on their shit, man, this week. And I think into next week as well, you guys. So just be cautious, okay? But Mars and Scorpio is not all bad, and it's not all creepy either. It can just give us a lot more of a drive that's got tunnel vision towards our goals, our aspirations. Even if we're interested in someone, it'll kind of kick us in the butt a little bit. Whereas Mars and Libra tries to be more smooth and finesse and like, oh, just wait for them. And like, I don't know, it's not very action oriented. Mars and Scorpio is like, yo, I have a lot of passion for this person, and I'll slowly but surely show them, you know? That's how it is. It knows what it wants, and it has an aim and a goal, and it's like blocking everybody and everything else out in their path, you know? Mars and Scorpio is it's very focused. It could be obsessive about things. So we may be more obsessive about achieving things, getting to a certain place, or just anything that we want. We'll be a little more obsessive about it, and if anybody tries to get in our way, we'll get like super pissed off. And Scorpio, like, I talk more about this in the monthly. Just go listen to that. But anyway, that's how Mars and Scorpio acts. So it enters Scorpio the early part of the 19th of November. It is opposing Uranus right away, so just be mindful of weirdos and accidents and stuff. But use that passion and that drive to get to where you want to be and to go after the things that you want. But don't be a stalker, all right? Okay, so also later in the day, this is when the moon shifts into Virgo. The moon will be in Virgo for a couple of days. It'll be there until the 21st. So from the 19th to the 21st, we're under the moon in Virgo influence, which is like, it's really good days to organize, to clean your house, to clean your car, to alphabetize your anything that you have that needs to be alphabetized. Put things in date order, number order, create spreadsheets for things, like do a bunch of nerd shit, you know what I mean? But also like clean up your house, do your laundry. It's like neurotic energy though, moon and Virgo energy. It's like, oh my God, I have to get this done or else, like, oh, there's these deadlines. Like you can create deadlines for yourself in your head that make you all like crazy nervous and stuff. So don't really tap into that. And moon and Virgo days, people could be like super critical too, and just really looking at people's flaws and like picking at them and asking them questions because you think that they're dumb because they don't do things a certain way. You know, it's like, well, why did you do it this way? I have so many Virgos in my life, you guys. My whole family is full of freaking Virgos. Virgo sun, Virgo moon. And they're all Virgos around the same degree of Virgo, whether it's their sun or moon too. And they all do that. They all do that stuff. Like, how come you didn't just blah, blah, blah? Because I didn't, Virgo. That's why. Like, that's what I started to. I call all my Virgos out on their Virgo-isms now. I surely do. And one of my closest friends is a Virgo moon, and she does all that stuff too. And I'm just like, I didn't do it this way because I didn't do it this way. That's why. I used to work with a couple of guys, and I was very close to them, you know, at work. We're kind of like a little crew, and there was a Virgo rising and a Virgo sun, and they would be like, I noticed that you didn't do this way, or that you did this way. And I'd just be like, who asked you to notice me? Did I ask you to notice what I'm doing? I would just like joke around with them like that all the time, like, you know, just pretend like I'm giving them a little attitude and call them out on their Virgoisms. Like, please, I didn't ask you to observe me and what I'm doing right or wrong and tell me. Like, I don't need that. Okay. So moon and Virgo days, Virgos are Virgoing extra hard. So just try to have patience with them. And if you are a Virgo, please keep in mind that on the days that the moon is in your sign, you could be like a little too much. Okay. We don't need you to be our alerts and our alarms, especially nowadays with our phones. We could put our whole lives in there. We have calendar alerts. We have alarms. We know what time it is. We don't need you to tell us. You know what I'm saying? But seriously though, moon and Virgo days are great for just getting your life together, getting your room, your house organized, and being very helpful to others too. Virgo energy is super helpful, is concerned about the welfare of others. And so we can kind of all adopt that attitude a little bit. But just don't be nitpicking at people, and don't be talking crap about people and how much makeup they wear. I swear to you guys, like, there was this lady that was always doing this to me like a couple months in a row. And I noticed that every time the moon was in Virgo and I would film a video, a live stream, she would be like, I don't think you need to wear that much makeup. And finally I said something to her like, look, I know that you're a Virgo and you don't like makeup. We get it, okay? But I love makeup. So if you don't like makeup, you don't have to watch me. Thank you. I think I said something along those lines. I was like, yo, she's at it again. Every time the moon's in Virgo. So please, don't nitpick at people's makeup or how they look. Just mind your business. Okay? Mind your business. All right. So the moon is in Virgo for a couple of days, 19th through the 21st. On the 20th, though, this is when Mercury goes direct. It's in the sign of Scorpio. It's been retrograde here since October 31st, but it's been in its shadow period since like mid-October, causing a lot of misunderstandings. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio deals with a lot of things deep within us, whether it's like fears or it's desires or pain that we've gone through. It's emotional energy. Water signs are very emotional. So Mercury retrograde in Scorpio could have brought back a lot of demons that you have within yourself that you need to face and work on. You know, there's been like relationship misunderstandings, miscommunications within relationships that have caused some of them to crumble and fall apart, you know. And maybe now when Mercury goes direct, some of that stuff can be repaired and fixed over the next couple of weeks. Maybe, you know, things could be cleared up between people if stuff like that popped up. Or now if it's some inner work that you know that you have to do, now you have a clearer vision of it. You've been reminded of it. Mercury retrograde can act as a boomerang and things like flung back in your face that you've said or done. And like I said, Scorpio energy is deeply emotional. So, you know, maybe some things came up. Now that it's going to start moving forward, it's like, okay, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to change. And I don't want to feel this pain anymore, or I don't want anyone else to suffer or whatever. So you can, you know, recognize those things and move forward with them. So yeah, on the 20th, Mercury starts moving direct. But remember, you guys, I always tell you, don't forget the shadow period. It does matter, okay? At least from my observations, and I'm very observant as a Scorpio rising, okay? The shadow period matters. Mercury is not all the way normal yet. So not until like the second week of December can we expect any matters that are ruled by Mercury to be totally in the clear, and there to be like a complete understanding of things and stuff like that. So yeah, don't forget about the shadow period. Okay. So now we move to the 21st. And let's see. Yeah, Mars is direct. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot. No, Mercury's direct. Mercury was at this 11th degree of Scorpio back around like the 12th of October. So if anything came up around that time, whether it's like any misunderstandings, any disagreements, or anything that you were dealing with at that time, can be up for revision. Okay, so remember October 12th, if you can think back, this is where Mercury is at now. All right, so on the 21st, this is when the moon moves into Libra. It's like really late. It's like, sorry. Mercury, oh my God. See, Mercury is transiting through my sign, which is Scorpio. And when Mercury's in your sign, I'm telling you, like, all these notifications are flying on your phone. People want to talk. And so do you. It's just crazy. My room, my bedroom is a Mercury retrograde explosion. I'm telling you, like, I need to get my life. So I can't wait for it to go direct. All right, anyway. So, the 21st, yeah, the moon moves into Libra. It's more like late at night. So it could be the 22nd in other parts of the world. But moon in Libra days, the moon spends a couple of days in Libra. And there are days to where there's a lot more diplomacy. There's a lot more willingness to get along with other people. There's a lot more relationship-oriented energy in the air. It's partnership and relationships. So like, you know, you may not want to go places alone, or if you do, you'll be talking on the phone to someone because you just want that companionship. That's kind of how Moon and Libra days can go. They're all about appreciating art, beauty in the world. A lot of times Moon and Libra days, people are a little more flirtatious, and even if they're in a relationship, it doesn't matter. They're like, they just appreciate beautiful people, and will be a lot more flirtatious, you know. So that's something to watch yourself for. If you are committed, yes. But yeah, it's about aesthetically pleasing things, noticing them more, being a lot more chill, and just trying to get along with people. But just be careful not to play the devil's advocate during Moon and Libra days and be like considered two-faced. Okay. So this is the last couple of days that the sun is in Scorpio, also in the middle of the week. So the 21st, you know, the sun is at 29 Scorpio. It's at 29 degrees of Scorpio, that critical degree, up until the 22nd. So, yeah, we're only a couple of days away from the sun shifting out of Scorpio, where it'll not, you know, it'll go into Sag. It won't come back to Scorpio until next year. And a lot of people that like online, especially, they'll be like, oh, that means Scorpio season is over and it's all about Sagittarius. No, because we still have Mars in Scorpio and Mercury in Scorpio, and they're going to both be there through the month of November and the rest of November, and in December, good part of December. Okay. So there's still going to be Scorpio energy in the air. The sun will be in the same sign as Venus and Jupiter, which is beautiful. So yeah, sun and Sag. Yes. So on the 22nd, the sun moves into Sagittarius, where it'll be until December, I think December 21st. So happy, joy. I love Sagittarius energy. They get us all hyped. They get us all lit up with a big smile, and everything is funny and a joke. I just love Sag energy so much. Sag energy is known as like, the sign of Sagittarius is known as like the lucky sign, because they're ruled by Jupiter, which rules like good luck, you know? So, yes, we are all going to be blessed with the sun being in Sag. So it looks like in the morning on the west coast of the U.S., is when the sun shifts, and it's probably like, you know, later in the day, more east of that. So yes, we're blessed with all the Sag energy. Sag energy is very eat, drink, and be merry. And that's why during Sagittarius season, we have Thanksgiving, the holiday in the U.S., which I know there's a lot about Thanksgiving that's shunned and frowned upon. Trust me, I know all about it. I'm not too big of a fan of Thanksgiving because of the history stuff, But hey, a day off to kick it with family and have like a feast of good food and to just like, you know, count your blessings together. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that any day actually. But it just so happens that, you know, where I live, they just make it a holiday where you have a day off in most jobs. So you have a day off to be able to do that stuff. But Sag energy is always thankful, always grateful, always just like, I'm very happy to be here. Like, I don't know what movie that is that Eddie Murphy was in where he says that. I think it's maybe Coming to America or something. I don't know, because I hear an African accent. I hear it in that accent in my head. So yeah, that's Sagittarius energy. I'm very happy to be here, haha, with a big smile, like just happy to be breathing air on Earth. You know, it's always happy. If you know any Sagittarians that don't smile and that aren't always happy, well, check the rest of their chart because they probably have some grumpy ass Scorpio or Capricorn energy. Emo Scorpio or grumpy Capricorn, okay? Because Sag energy in itself is always smiling. I have a lot of Sagittarius friends. They're November Sages, born in very early November. And I think I have like a couple December Sages. Yeah, a couple of them. But the November Sages, though, they're like, they're the epitome of Sag energy. Adventurous, jumping out there and doing fun stuff, hitting me up randomly like, yo, let's go out of town. When? Tomorrow. Like, are you serious? My Taurus energy is like, yo, you didn't plan this out, so I'm not gonna go. But they do help us. Sag energy does help us to be more adventurous and more grateful for things, you know. So we're gonna be definitely feeling that as a collective over the next month or so. So speaking of happy Sag energy, you see Venus and Jupiter here dancing together. We can dance if we want to. That's what they're saying. Look at Venus is creeping up on Jupiter, both in Sag. Like, hey, where's the party at? Because Sag energy is all about the party, all about the celebration, very celebratory energy. So Venus rules what we enjoy in this world. It rules relationships. It rules material things that we like to possess. It rules money, food, things that smell good, perfume, body spray, comfy, fluffy pillows. Like, it rules a lot of that stuff. So when she's creeping with Jupiter, I guess, right? No, but when she's hanging around Jupiter, Jupiter expands what it touches. It grows and expands things and makes it bigger and more exuberant and exciting, especially when it's in Sagittarius. So a lot of people can be feeling this way about the things that Venus rules, like love and like money. And the only thing to watch out for is Venus conjunct Jupiter could be very overindulgent. So the exact conjunction is going to be on the 24th. That means they're at the same degree in the same sign, to be an exact nerd, on the 24th. But, you know, throughout the week, the 17th through the 24th, we're going to be feeling this influence. It's going to be like, you know, subtly creeping up on us. But on the 24th is when it's exact. This could be a really good day to where if you are in love, you know, just celebrate love. If you have the means to do so, just celebrate life. Go. This is a big shopping day. Forget Black Friday, y'all. This is a really big shopping day for a lot of people, the 24th. Because Sag energy really does make you feel like you have a lot. It's a sign of abundance. And since Jupiter rules Sagittarius, it's like double that energy when it's in its home sign. So it's feeling abundant. That can mean like, even if you have only $2 in your bank account, you're like, woo, with that $2, and maybe want to put it in a machine at the casino and try your luck and see if you get more. Like, and you just feel super grateful to be alive and here, present, you know, even when you only have $2 in your bank account. Or you'll figure out a way to still party, still have a good time, still go shopping, do whatever you like. Even if your bank account says otherwise, you'll try to still do that and just have fun, you know. So this could be a really big party weekend, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. 24th is a Sunday. Not a lot of people party on Sundays, but you know what? We'll be feeling that energy. Maybe if you go shopping on that day, like regular grocery shopping, just watch out because you may buy more than you really need. Jupiter conjunct Venus, the downside to that is wants trump over needs. Okay, so you could be like, oh yeah, well, I want this and I want this, and you just grab whatever you want. But do you actually need it though? That's going to be the big question. So that could be going on. But yeah, it's really fun, exciting, beautiful energy to celebrate anything. Even just like I woke up and the freaking sun is shining and the birds are chirping. I'm blessed. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm smiling because of that. So that's what this energy brings. Very beautiful, very beautiful. But yeah, try not to overdo it this week though, you guys. Overeat, overdo it with drinking, indulgence, and overspending to where you have serious consequences, okay? So also on the 24th is when the moon goes into Scorpio. Maybe like, I think it's like super early, or it's like late at night. Yeah, it's actually really late at night, where I'm at on the, yeah, it's like just into the 24th. Late at night on the 23rd on the West Coast. So yeah, the moon goes into Scorpio. It joins Mars. It joins Mercury. So there's still a lot of Scorpio energy in the air. So yeah, don't go creeping down the back street on D's on anybody. Okay. Don't do no stalkery stuff, any creeper stuff. But, moon and Mars and Scorpio, very passionate. So maybe people might be speaking their minds. The 23rd, 24th, like if they have real, like a passion for someone, whether that's once again, a passionate hate or a passionate love, they may be just spilling it, you know, just speaking it. But this Venus and Jupiter conjunction can help with it being something that, like if it's a passionate, hateful situation, it's smoothed out. It's like, you know what? I have something to say and I'm just going to say it. Here it is, blah, 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 yada, yada. I hate this. I don't like that. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's party. So there could be kind of that attitude over the weekend. But yeah, this moon in Scorpio with Mars, yeah, you know, lots of, emotions could boil up to the surface, but luckily these guys are like, hey everybody, let's just have fun. All right, so yeah, the moon continues to be in Scorpio on the day of the 24th. So there's a lot of passion and a lot of party energy in the air. I hope everybody has a good weekend that weekend. And that's all I have to say about that in my Forrest Gump voice. So I hope you guys have a really good week. Just watch out for weirdness and you know, and creepy stalkery stuff going on. But yeah, have a good time this week. Have a good week. Don't forget, I do have horoscopes on my website for how the month of November is by sign, including the full moons and the new moons and these transits, how they affect you by your sign. And also the 2020 horoscopes for your signs are on my website as well. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I do post some horoscope stuff on there and some, you know, entertaining, funny stuff that does pertain to astrology, like memes. And, you know, we like to have fun on my page. So don't forget to follow me on there as well under Cosmic Homegirl. Oh, and you guys, I have like some really dope projects that are like creative astrology things that are coming up. So please stay tuned to my channel for that stuff. Yes. All right, guys, have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.